right, this works. Yeah, I know, because we are reduced to attempting to record this on the phone. And here we are. So, we, tonight is the Magician card, tarot card, and I think that's a good place to start. Yes. The Path of Beth. Beth. Not sure how you pronounce that in ancient Hebrew. Spelled Beth. I don't think they were big on TH sounds. But the Magician, the key, first key, meaning the tarot card, major arcana number 1. Of course, the Fool is 0. And so, are you coming? I'm starting.
I'll be right there.
No rush, I'm starting. No rush, I'm starting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine. I just had somebody ask me, I just directed them to what I was doing, and I think they're going to join, so.
Are they in the group?
Yeah, Molly?
Oh yeah. There we are. So I hope this works. Well, nobody phones me. Oh, I don't have any cell reception here anyway. Yes.
Here I come.
Okay. I'm starting talking, it's on already.
That's great. You talkity talk.
Talking talk.
Talkity talk. Talk.
We got a whole bunch of Magician cards.
Oh boy.
I'll start with that.
You do you? That's fabulous.
Well, I got way more than me.
Way more than that.
But, whoa. Of course, how's that going to line up? There we are. The traditional, I'm going to call it Rider-Waite traditional now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Magician, the idea here, a classic image, as above, so below, with the hands there. His left hand up, his right hand down. The infinity symbol over his head. In the Rider-Waite deck, there's 2 cards that have the infinity symbol like that. This guy has it over his head in the Magician, and then of course the woman has it over her head in the Strength card in many tarot illustrations.
Hello.
And of course that's the symbol for infinity. So means he's connected to infinity. Hello.
Norman is saying hello.
Norman says hello. Can you say hello again, Bobo? No, it's got to sit by my feet. And then it's also of note is the lilies representing purity, the red roses should represent kind of the idea of passion, and the on his table he has the 4 elements. The suits are all on his table. He's got a sword for air and a cup for water and a pentacle, the pentagram for earth, and the where is it there? Yeah, the wand and a wand and a staff or wand for fire. So he's involved in the flow. He's making it happen. That's the idea. Making it happen. Mm-hmm. The fool is going with the flow, and the Magician he's got an idea.
He's bringing it in from above and
for manifesting it into
the
world.
Using his tools.
These tools. There we got an interesting one, if that's not how legible that's going to be, but it is as Tarot of the Old Path, and more the idea of a shaman. Interesting, the wolf that we've seen, the wolf coming up in the Fool card a couple times, around sort of the wild idea. We got sort of a Stonehenge in the background, and he's tossing runes on the ground, divining with runes. So again, the magician, he's more the shaman type here, but he's doing magician things. He's looking into the future, making things happen. He's got his sword, lightning in the background. I don't know what else we got there. It's got water symbols on it, but I don't know why, because it's not the water card. Oh, this one's woohoo.
Woohoo! You can see that one.
Magician all gold in there in the Nefertari deck. And I guess don't have a lot of specifics here, just that he's got the bowl, the disc, the staff, and the sword. So again, the 4 elements.
The magician's tools.
Magician's tools, yeah. And this deck that you can remind me of the name of as yours?
The Initiatory.
Initiatory Golden Dawn. This guy has a caduceus on his cloak. He's got a shirt, his tunic, I guess is the term. He's got astrology signs on his belt. He's got, again, an altar with the 4 elements.
Are people responding?
Yeah, they got a couple little things going on there.
Okay, good. Just checking. Just
something.
We've been having
did
technical difficulties,
so I guess it's working.
So just want to make sure. How about you look at your computer?
We got 4. It doesn't have this.
Doesn't even show it yet.
No.
Okay. Just want to make sure everybody's there.
Yeah, well, we got 4 people, so it's working.
Oh, that's
4
good.
or 5 now.
Alrighty.
We have, this one's nice, but it's very traditional.
That's the Fenestra deck.
You know, he's got his arms opposite the Rider-Waite. No, it's not. That's the same. That's the same. What am I thinking?
I don't know.
Got it mixed up. So that's much the same, but it's an attractive card. Of course, let's get into the Crowley one, which is really emphasizes, of course, you have your magical tools again floating around. It's like it's like he's launching into space there. But really it's to illustrate the force of the energy, sort of the Kundalini here. And a big emphasis on the Hermes idea, kind of the wings on the feet, the flight. There's also a baboon, which is a symbol for Hermes, Thoth, the Egyptian god, totem for the Egyptian god Thoth. And but it's big on the caduceus here, and I think hopefully we'll touch on that in a little bit of reading. If I can find the passage on the caduceus, because there's really two. I'm not going to read the whole darn thing, but yeah. So anyway, there we are. And then this one's fun. I pulled out my Spirit Halloween deck. Just says the warlock. The warlock is the magician, and looks like he's got quite the cigarette lighter there or something. But anyway, it's cute. Again, he's got holding the sword up on high, which is sort of the athame of the magician.
Yeah. She mentions in this book, The Witch's Tarot, that the Lemon's Gate that you find on the magician's card, the infinity symbol, it's the symbol of eternity, and signifying that an act of magic is not a separate thing with a beginning and an end. What we send out comes back now or later. And it also represents the flow of energy on the tree, never ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. So the path is between Kether and Binah. It's I don't know what will be over here, but the top Kether, the
Why don't you grab your
source light.
the picture? Right?
Sure.
It's easier.
And so from source, pre-polarity source energy on the top, which we visualize as our crown chakra or chakra sphere atop the head. And then the Fool card, yes, was the first one we did, follows the path of the lightning flash from source to Chokmah here, the second sphere, and then zigzags down. The lightning flash, which we've discussed in the past, the direction of natural flowing creative energy. Here we have going from the magician. We got going from the magician, from the source to Binah, or the divine feminine, with the magician. So we're going straight from source into manifestation, at least the idea of manifestation. And it is not the path of the lightning flash. So what we can connote from that, I guess, is it's more about it's the magician's purpose kind of takes precedent here. He's going from source into the idea of manifestation. They're all above the abyss, these three, so it's not things manifesting yet, but it is Binah that starts things off towards manifestation. So what is it about? It's about between Kether and Binah, between the one pure source of all, energy undefined, and the great organizer, which is Binah, the dwelling place of spirit. So the letter Beth, each of the tarot trumps are associated with a Hebrew letter, and the Hebrew letter Beth, and the Hebrew letters are named with words, it's just the letter, it's named Beth, and then the word Beth also has another connotation, another meaning in the Hebrew besides this letter. And what it means is a house. Aleph, the Fool letter, means an ox, and we discussed that as being a kind of instrumental to agriculture and kind of the idea of civilization. And here we have house, the dwelling place of spirit, from which spirit descends into the denseness of manifestation. The magician symbolizes that which builds the house, that which directs and encloses the one spirit. The spirit itself is symbolized by the Fool, the zero, the unlimited potential of the zero. So the Fool and the magician are close, but different. Okay, the relationship. Cool, yeah.
Oh, just that the house, Ellen Cannon Reed says her take on Beth.
Yes.
Meaning house, and represents man's first step in the control of his environment.
Control of environment.
So it's restricting his environment by making a shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Something to put
something,
things, yeah.
some place to be,
A place to
sort of
be.
protection.
Yeah.
You know, and so it starts off way at the top of the tree here. You got the Fool, which is just in the flow of the divine energy.
Yeah.
And going with the flow. And here you have this idea of, wait a minute, I got an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a balance here that without, you know, do we consider that one of them has it wrong? No, they're both right. There's not a polarity of right and wrong here between the Fool and Magician. They're just different ways of going about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we didn't have, if we were just in the flow of instinct, or kind of, which may be more represented by the Fool, then we wouldn't have civilization,
mm-hmm.
as you know, of course, as we know it, as any culture knows it.
Right.
So without having that human, it's ruled by Mercury too, which is
mm-hmm.
emphasized in the Crowley deck, the Thoth deck there, about Hermes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is about the mind, about the rational mind, which can be viewed as sort of the ego mind. And it's the ego mind that worries. It's the ego mind that plans. It's the ego mind that goes, I'm going to need a house.
Yeah.
It's the ego mind that goes, I don't want to get rained on. I'd prefer to be warm. I'd prefer to have some supplies. You know, so very much about kind of the ego mind and how its function. But nonetheless, on this level, what's really important here is that infinity symbol. And is that upreaching with his hand to the higher?
Mm-hmm.
Is that to draw, that's not just to draw energy, that's to draw inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the intelligences that is his cognition, his ego mind is here shown connected to the infinite, or collective consciousness, or Jungian unconscious, or however you want to put it. But this isn't the ego mind that plots for whims and is kind of drags the spiritual connection down. This is the mind, the rational mind that is kind of in tune or connected to the higher.
Mm-hmm.
At least that, yeah. Now, of course, if you're a tarot reader and you do read reversals, then that would be the idea of maybe the ego mind, or plotting or planning and kind of making things happen that aren't in the flow of the positive energies or divine energies. So that might be reversed, but that is not what we're considering here. So the Magician is a channel through which the energy of the Fool is organized and moves downward. The one life energy is directed in the evolution of the universe towards matter. The messenger of the gods. Looking for something quick about the caduceus, and I got a big diagram of it, but I don't have, there we are. I don't have a big discussion of it. Well, of course, we got, it's a phallic symbol. The wand of Hermes transmits power. Hermes always, in early times, carried a staff that had been thought to be symbols, like with ribbons, that had thought to be serpents. and developed into the caduceus of Mercury.
So this, in the book, in the Wang book, it has the two ways of representing that which is encompassed by Mercury, which is the Sephiroth of the planetary symbol and the four worlds on the caduceus. So I guess it's also a representation of Mercury. And what do we have here? Mercury is also the planetary attribution of Hod. And the symbol for Mercury in itself is a composite symbol for all the aspects of the path. This path. It starts with a circle, just as a magic circle is cast for the purpose of confining and controlling energies. Below the circle is an elemental cross. The 4 bars of this cross represent an angelic choir of Kether, the holy living creatures, and are the archetypes of the cherubs of Malkuth. There are also the archetypes of our astrological signs, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, and Leo. These are the fixed signs of the zodiac, representing the essence of air, earth, water, and fire. Together, the cross and the circle form a symbol of the creation of Kether, manifesting through the elements in Malkuth. And of course, the symbol itself is of Venus, a planet named after the aspect of the goddess. And at the top of the crescent is like a crown of a priestess, and with that you arrive at the symbol for Mercury on the path between creation and the goddess, the Great Mother. So, and it goes on just to talk about, according to legend, the greatest magician of all was Hermes Trismegistus. Gistus?
Close enough.
Close enough.
Trismegistus or something.
Trismegistus, the Greek name for Thoth. And the famous maxim, as above, so below, is attributed to this mighty image. So that's also what the caduceus sort of represents, is you've got the snakes and the coming down and going up.
I got a little bit more on that. The magician is directing the forces of the higher. The premium mobile or first motions that is Kether, is acting through philosophic Mercury on Saturn Binah, which is to say the Supreme Spirit is acting upon the will to form. This activity is involved with words, or which means vibration. The idea that whosoever can pronounce Yod He Vahe or Jehovah will be master of the universe. In this case, pronounce means to willfully direct the vibration. So that what we have in the magician is the one who is in fact able to pronounce the divine name. This brings us to a complex idea that all created wills are but reflections of the will of the magician. So what Crowley talked about as is will or divine will, and the idea of alignment of one's will with divine will as the act of the magician. Paul Foster Case has a little poem about it. My superior nature worketh through thee. Happy art thou if thou canst grasp this truth. For then, understanding that not thy weak self, but my all-knowing mind, looketh out upon the world through thine eyes, shalt thou have faith to let me see? Then shalt thou overcome the evil of thy senses by devoting them wholly to my use. What's used to be the Christian kind of phrase of not my will but thine will be done. So it's much the same as all the magic of the Golden Dawn is saying that to be in connect with the higher will. And that higher will resides in the divine, in the higher self, in the HGA, which means the holy guardian angel, which again is yourself. You the self of you, the spiritual self that decided to take this incarnation. That spiritual self that decided to take your present incarnation has some ideas about what you're supposed to be doing with this life.
Right. So
the whole purpose of all this pathworking stuff and all of all the Kabbalistic ceremonial white magic is to connect with that, achieve the knowledge of and conversation with one's own holy guardian angel or one's own higher self. So the whole idea of spiritual development, that there's a point to it, and it's not, and in this Western system, it's not like, oh, well, we want to be like free of all desire and enlightened, like a Buddhist, or we want to be, enlightened like a Hindu yogi. What the point of it is to, yes, kind of find that sort of quality of peace and quality of enlightenment, but that doesn't mean being free of desire and sitting under a tree. What it means is being in touch with your higher self that knows why you were born. And that's no doubt has to do with lots of fun stuff. Don't kind of presuppose that you were born to sit in a cave and meditate. No, you're born to do this and that and have family and kids and this and relationships and careers and do stuff with people and have a big life. So that's I think in a nutshell, that's kind of the idea of the magician. That yes, he's smart, and yes, he's manipulating and bringing vision or energies down from on high into manifestation. But the idea that, as any magician knows, that really only works when you're in line with what's supposed to be happening. It's tough to buck the current when the current's coming from on high.
Yeah. And this path is called the
I want that bit.
Intelligence of Transparency.
I've got that a little more. So path color yellow, related sound E natural. Planet Mercury, meaning house. It's a double letter, so it has two meanings, life and death. The esoteric title, the Magus of Power. The 12th path is the intelligence of transparency, because it is that species of magnificence. Oh, here's one. Chazkazit, which is named the place whence issues the vision of those seeing in apparitions. That is, the prophecies by seers in a vision. So it's once again, the 12th path is the intelligence of transparency, because it is that species of magnificence, and I'll skip that confusing name. The place whence issues the visions of those seeing prophecies.
Mm-hmm. A little further along, it says, thus it is the path called the transparent intelligence, for like light through glass, energy passes through it from above.
Very nice.
So, yeah. And that's where we find reference to scrying and astral visions.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, see, our physical sight is possible because of directed or restricted light. Visions on the other planes are the same, but the type of light is different. Again, we are shown the idea of a type of form and its purpose.
Okay.
So, heavy stuff,
Heavy
man.
stuff, man.
Heavy stuff.
So,
Did you get all that, guys?
let's start. You know what I didn't do?
Or did we lose them all?
No, there's more. There's more at the door. Let me see if I can get this just up to the little camera here. Just for that. Because you want to be able to think of, hypothetically, there's the symbol for Mercury. And there's the Beth, the way the Hebrew letter Beth looks. Sort of a stool on its side of some sort. But the meaning of that letter is house. And it's way up there. Do you want to do some quarters?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. What you want me to do?
Well, whatever's handy here. There.
Okay. What's not handy?
Everything else? Nothing else is handy. So
I've got air and fire.
Yes.
So you want me to do east and
yes.
south again?
Yes.
Kai.
Okay.
Kai. Alrighty.
All right. I'll begin this tempo. Actually, I'm going to want that little, let me read that quote. Handy. Okay. Okay. Malte, Malkuth, Vegabora, Vegadula, Leila, Amen. Hekes, Estebebeloi. Yahashua. 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 Yod He Shin Vov He. Ayin Arai Yod Nun Resh Yod, sign of Osiris slain. El, the sign of the morning of Isis. V, the sign of Typhon Apophis. X, the sign of Osiris risen. L, V, X, Lux, light, light of the cross. Virgo, Isis, Mighty Mother, Scorpio, Apophis, Destroyer, Sol, Osiris, slain yet risen, Isis, Apophis, Osiris, Iau, Ixarpe, Hokoema, Nanta, Bieteoem, the divine light descend. Eheye, Yorevahe Elohim, Yorevahe Levadaat, Shrael Chayed Haaretz, the divine light descend. Circle is cast.
So nothing else you were going to do? No?
Well, after that, got the quarters
Okay.
up.
All right.
But I didn't. You know, to say a few
Keep it.
words for Hermes and
Right. Mercury.
Mercury.
Okay. Yaxarpe. Eheye. Oroiba Zodpi. Yehovah. Hail Raphael, Archangel of the East and of Air. Bitom. Ehei. Oeaptie pedoche. Elohim. Hail Michael, Archangel of the South and Fire.
To the west. Hokoema Agla. Emperor Salgayol Al. Hail Gabriel, Archangel of Water, West. Enna Enta Agla. Imordial Hectega. Adonai. Adonai. Hail Uriel, Archangel of Earth, the North. Before me, Raphael behind me, Gabriel to the right hand, Michael, and to the left hand, Uriel. About us flames the pentagrams, and in the column shines the six-rayed star, Ate Malkuth Vegabora Vegadula Leola Am, as above, so below. This evening, we are traversing the 12th path, the first key, the tarot number 1, the Path of Beth, the Magician, the yellow, E natural, Mercury, house, the Magus of power, life and death. The 12th path is the intelligence of transparency. It is that species of magnificence called Chazit, which is named the place whence issues the vision of those seeing in apparitions, that is the prophecies by seers in a vision. Mercury, Hermes, Thoth, Bless our meditation. Sure. Okay. Begin by relaxing the body. Lying down flat or sitting up straight. The window closed. Well, some people like to meditate with kind of a droning sound in the background. White noise. Visualize the top of the head, a white orb of light. Breathing deep, the diaphragm. Try to establish the 4 square breath of slowly breathing into your own count of 4, pausing for your own count of 4, breathing out slowly for the count of 4, pausing for the count of 4. So try to get that going, and you can always get back, think about that if ever your mind wanders. The breath, the circle we formed, the guardians we called, these are always things to occupy a busy mind with in meditation. Orb of white light atop the head. Begin here. The God name for the first orb is Aheye. Bring the light energy down into the top of the head, into the body, to form a lavender orb of light in the throat area. His name is Jehovah Elohim.
Jehovah Elohim.
Jehovah Elohim.
Jehovah Elohim.
Imagine the light energy going down into the body to form a golden yellow orb of light behind the solar plexus in the chest and torso. This is the heart chakra, light of love. Its name is Yehovah Ilovada'ath. Yehovah Ilovada'ath.
Yehovah Ilovada.
Yehovah Ilovada'ath. Bring the light energy down to form a purple orb of light in the groin area. Light of life. Shaddai El Chai.
Shaddai El Chai.
Shaddai El Chai.
Shaddai El Chai.
Bring the light energy down to the ground, to the feet, grounding with the feet, with a russet orb of light. Adonai Haaretz. Adonai Haaretz. Bring the attention to the light, white light sphere atop the head. On the exhale, bring the light energy down through the left side of the body to the feet, And on the inhale, bring light energy up from the feet through the right side of the body to the top of the head. Inhale light energy up the right. Exhale light energy down the left. And on the exhale, bring the light energy down over the face, over the front of the body to the feet. And on the inhale, bring the light energy up along the back to the top of the head. Inhale up the back, energy. Exhale, energy down the front. And on an inhale, collect light energy at the feet, the orb at the feet. On the exhale, release the light energy up through the middle pillar, up through the body, through the top of the head. And it fountains down around and through to be collected again at the feet on the inhale. Release the energy up through the body on the exhale. Again, think of Mercury, the caduceus. We may want to go to our place in the roots of the tree where we are sheltered and we have a safe place to go in meditation. But here, think of the symbols of the caduceus and Mercury, the letter Beth, meaning house. There's a house on another plane for sure. The magician's tools. For a moment, see yourself in your meditation as breathing and in a moment of meditation. Because here we are asking to see the higher mind, to link to the higher mind. We are asking for a vision, asking to participate in the message of the higher. I thank the guardians of the quarters. And Normie likes that. Uriel. Gabriel. Michael. Raphael. The archangels and intelligences and beings, energies called and drawn to our ceremony. We bid thee go from us, stay if you will. May this pathworking temple come to a close. Finger.
It's there. No, it's right there on the side.
What am I not
To
seeing?
your right. To your right. There
Oh, hang in there. Easy.
Hang it in there.
Hanging in there.
Well, there we are, hey?
Here, I'm going to turn
There
this
we
off
are.
and restart it.
You're going to restart it? No, don't. I can get my phone and we can chat on that if you want.
Yeah, but I like to record the meetings.
Yes, well, you do that. I shall get my phone. Be right back, folks.